Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Room 8 of Parallel Session 2 of LLTC 2022. My name is Rira and I will be the person in charge of this room. I will also act as a timekeeper and will be reminding the presenter verbally 2 minutes before the time is up. In this parallel session, each team will have 15 minutes to present and 5 minutes for Q&A session. Each presentation will be moderated by the next presenter. Without further ado, let us begin with the first presentation by Miss Maria Immaculata Asri Wulandari and Miss Madhiveda Yulia from Sanata Dharma University, and which will be moderated by Mr. Alif Sutanto Hadi. The screen and time is yours.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
My name is Maria Immaculata Asri Wulandari, and I'm a final year student of Sanata Dharma University. In this very beautiful occasion, I'd like to present my slides. But first, I am going to make sure that you can see my slide. Can you see my slides?
Yes, Miss. Yes, we can see it clearly.
All right. So let's start off with the title. So my presentation titled Autonomous English Learning in a Rural Area, a Qualitative Study Among Students Across Socioeconomic Backgrounds. It is a study done by me, Maria Immaculata Asri Wulandari, and my lecturer, Ms. Madhiveda Yulia. So here are some of the things that we are going to talk in this session. The first one is the background, followed by the research questions, theoretical framework, methodology, and last one, research findings. All right, let's start off with the background. The accessibility of education and technology are varied, especially between urban and rural students. The limitation of learning sources, environment, and necessities need to be elaborated. The popularity of autonomous learning itself has been catching researchers' eyes for the past years. A lot of research has been conducted to learn deeper about autonomous learning. And if you're wondering what is actually autonomous learning is one of the strategies to learn English as a foreign language. So it is divided as the action of initiating, monitoring, and assessing one's personal learning. In this era, students are seen as active learners. Sorry. I got a notification that my slide is error. Can you see the second slide here?
Right now, it's clear. Okay.
Oh, all right, Rita. So in this era, students are expected to learn by themselves as internet and technology are growing so rapidly. However, let's take a moment and take a look at our friends, students at rural areas. In this case, we're going to talk about students at Dayam Harjo village. The disparities in educational facilities and teachers between rural and urban schools in Indonesia can be seen clearly. And why I choose to study specifically about students in rural area is that there are so many researchers done already talking about students from various socioeconomic backgrounds experience while implementing English autonomous learning? Here are three of the theoretical framework that I use in this study. The first one is from Littlewood about two main dimensions of autonomous learning, namely responsibility and competence. And the second one is from Hatchett. It's about fostering factors of autonomous learning. And the third one is from Donoso and Ratzmann about inequality of learning experienced by rural students. And here is the methodology that I use in the study. I use the basic qualitative study method. And then to choose my subjects, here I have 4 middle school students representing each economic backgrounds at Gayam Harjo village, because there were only 4 economic backgrounds in Gayam Harjo village. And for instruments, here I use both interview and document analysis. Let's go to the research findings. So I broke down the research subjects into 4 different categories. The first code is P1, stands for participant 1, is from business family background. P2 comes from employee family. P3 comes from agriculturist family. And then the P4 comes from a Navy family. And after the research is done and taking a look at the documents in form of score report as well as semester report, we can draw the result that the first place occupied by P2 with average score of 81.4. The second one following the P2, we have participant 3 with a total score of 77.9. The third one, P4, with a total score of 74.6. And the last one, participant 1, with the average score of 70. And you might be wondering what are the difficulties that 4 students from this rural area encounter. The first one, as we can take a look at the indicator, we have responsibility, competence, and difficulties. When we're talking about difficulties, there are 3 main items highlighted, which are expectation, participation, and facilities. We can see that P1 and P2 they have no exact expectation that burden them to learn. And then we can see the same result on P3 and P4. For participation, all the 4 participants are participating actively in school class. Then what makes them different is that the third factor, facilities. P1 and P2 only encounters 2 kinds of facility difficulties, namely signal and frequent power outages. Because in Gayam Harjo village, geographically, Gayam Harjo village is located in a mountain, so the access of electricity is still very limited. And P1 and P2 only encounters that problem and nothing else. And when we take a look at the third and fourth participant, P3 and P4, they also encounter facilities. They have limited facilities that support them to learn. And here are the results. P2 was the most successful. P2 adopted autonomous learning with the use of all available resources at home, like laptop, Wi-Fi connection, handphone, adequate amount of books provided by their parents, and many more. Furthermore, P2 was discovered to have a broader understanding of English compared to her friends. And then P3, who had never used autonomous learning, was placed second. P3 only studied at school with the assistance of the teachers. Despite her outstanding result following the P2, P3 had forgotten the things that she had previously learned. P3 could only recall the most recent content presented by the teacher and not further than that. And then third one, P4. P4 occupied the third position as P4 had integrated autonomous learning. However, it was still confined to school-based topics. Despite being in a poorer academic level compared to P2 and P3, P4's mastery of English was more widespread. P4 could recall the fundamentals of English that they had previously learned at school. P1, the one that occupied the last rank, had a hereditary memory deficit, according to interviews. Despite having an inherited memory deficiency, P1 was conscious of her shortcomings and eager to learn independently in variety of methods. P1's English autonomous learning implementation was aided as well by suitable learning facilities. And then from the presentation, we can see that P2 and P1 that implemented autonomous learning maximally, they placed in different place. P2 ranked the first and P1 ranked the last. But what makes them different is that autonomous learning is not always about the score. It's all about the maximum capacity that student can reach. So each individual have different maximum spot. I think that is all from me, Ms. Rira. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Miss Maria Immaculata Asri Wulandari, for the insightful discussion. Now we will have the Q&A session. Are there any questions from the participants? You can
Yes.
write down, or you can directly ask to the presenter.
Can I just ask my question now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Maria Putri. I am a student of MPBI. The question is, I'm wondering what is the motivation? I don't know whether you really have paid attention enough on the motivation. Why the student, you label her as P2, the P2 student in your research are more motivated by the limited quote-unquote resources around her, or maybe she is already self-driven enough to make the maximum use of the resources around her. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the question, Maria Putri. So may I answer now?
Yes, Miss.
Right. So the fact is that P2 and other subjects have different motivation because of their facilities. So P1 and P2, they have enough supporting facilities that makes them eager to learn English well. However, it is different with P3 and P4 that has limited access to proper facilities. And so that they solely think that learning at school is more than enough to live their life in the future. However, it is different with P1 and P2 that is actually know what's happening in the real world. They have proper access to internet, they have supporting backgrounds of their parents, they have so many facilities that makes them have the motivation to learn deeper because they know that their capability needs to be growing each time. That is all from me. Do you still have any further questions?
Thank you. Enough. That's enough. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Are there any questions from other participants? Maybe you can write down in the chat box, or you can also directly ask to the presenter. We still have
Shira.
2 minutes more. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. May
Okay.
I have a question for Miss Wulan?
Sure.
Okay, I'm very interested with your presentation, but actually I'm not familiar with what the meaning of autonomous English learning in here. Very sorry. Would you please tell me a little bit and simple what maybe is it any relationship with our national program Merdeka Belajar like that? And the second one, is it the English learning, autonomous English learning in here? Is it also applicable with another lesson other than English? Yeah, that my question. Thank you, Miss Wan.
Thank you very much for the questions. So I will answer your question now. The first one is about the simple meaning of autonomous learning. So we can say that autonomous learning is self-learning management, where students have the capability to be responsible of their own learning, what they want to learn, how they want to learn, and when they want to learn. And is it applicable in Merdeka Belajar? Totally yes, because in Merdeka Belajar, students are most likely become the center of attention inside the class rather than the teacher. So that when students have the responsibility and they can manage their own learning, it means that the discussion in the classroom can grow and not just teacher-centered, but also student-centered. And then the third one is about the third one. I'm sorry, but may you recall the
Okay.
third one?
So in here we are focused on English learning. Is it also applicable for another lessons rather than English for this autonomous? Thank you.
All right, totally. Autonomous learning applicable for any kind of lessons. So here I use English only because I study English in my university and I really want to be focused on that area. But autonomous learning is totally applicable for any kind of field that the students want to learn.
Okay, thank you for the fruitful discussion. The time for Q&A session is over, and now let us move to the next presentation, which will be delivered by Mr. Alif Sutanto Hadi, Ms. Titik Rahayu, and Mr. Halim Ahmad Faizin from Polytechnic Negeri Madiun, and will be moderated by Mr. Muhammad Fahru Raji. The time and screen are yours. Thank you.
Terima kasih. Sementara Pak Moderator memandu, may I try to share my material? Thank you very much. So I think we have no response from the moderator, may I begin by myself to try to explain and deliver my material? Is it clear already displayed in the monitor, my material?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I hope everybody in here, in this chamber, in this room, can hear my voice clearly. Thank you for the opportunity, Ms. Rira, and also good afternoon, everybody. In here, I would like to deliver my material in here entitled Understanding the Student's Reading Comprehension Through the Translation Quality Assessment Result. And here, I'm not alone. I have also Pak Halim in here accompanied me. And we goes to the next slide. It seems that I cannot play my PowerPoint properly, so I would like to move pages by pages manually. Okay. Background, understanding English book can only obtained by understanding the meaning of the word in the passages. Some reference books are written in English, so that understanding the message of the meaning of the sentences is compulsory for readers to understand the passage well. If the students understand the meaning of the words well, they can comprehend the message well. In contrary, if the students cannot understand the meaning of the words well, they cannot also comprehend the message well. Problems, and here we have three problems in my research. The first one, we would like to identify the translation technique used. The second one, the quality of the translation result. Later on, the quality will be viewed from accuracy viewpoint. And the third problems, we will try to analyze from the result of the quality of the translation, the students' and comprehension in reading the English text. Second one, the next page. And here, literature, we use some source. The first one talking about the definition of translation. The second one explaining about the translation technique. The third one, translation quality assessment. And the last one, reading comprehension. Method. In this research, we use qualitative method. The method objective is to obtain real information, then presented and so on and so on. What is it? Definition. The next one, regarding the data source, data and the source of the data. And here, we use the document which is applied the primary data from the book entitled Trucks Zooming By, written by Pamela Jane. The textbooks on the book translated into Indonesian language by second grader students of English program of State Polytechnic of Madiun. A little bit information about this book, why I chosen this book as the source of the data. Actually, I myself interested with this book because this book is very, very simple because written for children segments. So the word sentence is quite simple, short, and easy to identify for the translation students learner, and also for the practice in translating subject. The next one, I'll move to the next page. Data analysis. The data will be analyzed through the following steps. Observe the text originally from the original language. The researcher compares between the original and the translated text produced by the students. The third one, the researcher analyzed the questionnaire given to clear information, the translation. The last one, the researcher interprets the result of analysis and draw conclusion based on the research. Data analysis, and here I have already talked in the previous page about the accuracy in translation, and here I view the translation from accuracy viewpoint. The accuracy level of the translation is analyzed based on the end result of the questionnaires given to the writers. The three writers give mark score And the criteria, as per displayed in the monitor, there are 3 criteria: accurate, less accurate, and inaccurate. About each criteria, the already stated in the right column. Accurate whenever the translation considered accurate if the message from the original source text is accurately conveyed to the text. However, less accurate and inaccurate in here already also explained in the yellow and purple or pink color. Next, I'll also take a screenshot from the data we have for about 8 data taken from the book. And the next one, the findings. I try to present the conclusion or the finding result of the first problem regarding the distribution of translation technique. There are 7, at least, translation technique used by the students. And also here we can already also see clearly the frequency of each of the translation technique. The most translation technique used is the literal one, merely for about 83.77%, and the less frequency used by the students, the deletion technique, and here only 3 times used, or 0.87%. The second problems about the accuracy level, the result of the translation, and here viewed from accurate, less accurate, and inaccurate or not accurate. And here from the data, 237 data are accurate translated to the target language, or 68.70%. Less accurate, 68 or 19.71%, and the rest not accurate for the data for about 11.59%. So all the total data, 345 data altogether. Conclusion: based on the assessment result, the conclusion can be taken as follow. The first one, regarding the translation technique used by the students, literal translation is the most frequent technique used by the student, 83.77%. The second one, answer the problem number 2. The most source of the text were translated accurately, 68.7%, while the rest less accurate, 19.77%. Not accurate, 11.59%. And the last conclusion, number 3, and here, based on the above result, we can draw conclusion the students can translate the text accurately so that they can fairly comprehend and understand the text, English text here. I think that's all. My presentation very short and simple, I hope. And also I open a suggestion and from the audience here. Return back to Pak Muhammad, moderator, to continue the discussion. Thank you very much. Or maybe Rira, you may help us to guide the discussion. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Alif Sutanto Hadi. Now we will have the Q&A session. Are there any questions from the participants?
It seems no question. Rira? Or maybe suggestion for me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right then, if there are no questions, let us move to the next presentation. Firstly, thank you, Mr. Ali, for the presentation.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you very much.
all right, which will be delivered by Mr. Muhammad Fahruraji and Ms. Nur Eka Chandra from Universitas Lambung Mangkurat, and will be moderated by Ms. Maria Immaculata Wolandari. The screen and times are yours. Thank you. Are Mr. Muhammad Fahruraji and Mr. Eka Chandra here?
Jangan nggak hadir Rira, ini yang materi nomor 3
Iya,
nih.
sepertinya karena yang presenter ketiga tidak hadir semua, maka Bapak dan Ibu bisa bergabung ke breakout room yang lain. Monggo silahkan meninggalkan breakout room ini, lalu nanti setelah sesi parallel session selesai, silahkan kembali ke main room untuk mengikuti plenary session yang terakhir. Terima kasih.